Thank you very much, Susan. Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much, Zoom host John F. McMillan. I praise you. I praise you, people. Whether you say I'm putting up with you, because Poetic License wouldn't be Poetic License without you guys, and you guys are triple plus awesome for it. I'm going to share with you 3 poems to close out the thing, and I'm going to do them from, you may have seen it before, the Down in the Dirt September to December 2023 issue collection book, Instant Karma. Instant. Just in case you wanted it, kind of like Poetic License, you now also have Instant Karma. These are 3 pieces from shows that I did, and I believe they were all in Texas. And they're on the seasons, and none of them are on winter, so forgive me for that. This first one is related to, I believe, autumn, and it is called Quell the Vibrancy. All summer long, we work indoors so we can avoid the heat. All summer long, our fans stay on as we try to find relief. We want a natural wind, one not filled with the beating sun reminding us of our tortured days. And then it comes. We step outside and we wait for the now cool breeze. The heat's now quelled. There's color in leaves, and we finally now can breathe. We lived through the heat. We've seen the green that's not bright enough when droughts quell the vibrancy of trees. So enjoy this time. Look at the leaves, golden, amber, auburn, burnt sienna, taupe. These are the times when sandy and smoky are as beautiful as rosy in the world that we see. All summer long, we work indoors so we can avoid the heat. But let's flip the switch and change the seasons and be glad when the breeze can't be beat. These were things that I did for a show called Seasons Change, and it must have been just shortly after the solar eclipse, because I'm wearing an eclipse photo and John was doing some guitar in it as well. This was actually performed in Dripping Springs at the hall, the city hall building where I was doing this. Had all these chairs for a formal thing, but it was in a show called Seasons Change. Oh yeah, and it was for another novel release. Like, you guys need to see more pictures of that. But there was just, that was for that show. But the next 2 are actually about spring, because the spring's coming up eventually soon, and it's in Texas starting to in a vague way. My husband just went outside for a walk because it's low 60s right now. Anyway, this is the first one for these last 2 for you I'd like to share. It's called Entering the War Room. One spring, while still in college, I was taking a political science class. And really, I used to be an engineer. I could wrap my brain around this easily. But it was cool that the classroom had this one giant oval table and all the students sat all together. It was like this class, and it was with a few of my friends, and each class was like we were entering a war room on this one giant table. Well, one day, and really, I don't know who started passing the note first, but while the TA was talking, the 3 of us were passing notes while paying attention to class. And when the bell rang for this elective, the TA asked the 3 of us to stay. And once the last student left the room and the door closed, this TA sounded like he became a general, put on the most evil face, and started yelling at the 3 of us that we should never pass notes like that in his class again. And when he was done, my 2 friends rushed to get their books into their bags and rush out of the war room. But me, I took my time. I deliberately placed my books into my bag one at a time. Took time in zipping it up and putting a bag over my shoulder long after my friends had already left. I started to walk to the door while the TA was still fuming, and I said, "Have a nice day," before getting out of the door. And the next few weeks at class, I made a point to raise my hand as he asked questions. And once I even corrected him, because just because I was passing notes, I knew what I was doing in this elective. And besides, it was spring. I could handle the war room and still enjoy a beautiful spring days. I did this thanks. I did this in a spring show at the Baha'i Faith Center, which is something that Tom Woodruff had hosted for a monthly thing, which is why I have flowers there. And there was music going on, which is why I have a laptop showing Francois Leroux of the Sahaman of South Africa playing music while I was doing those poems, which I'll show you another one or two from that same show for this last poem for you guys. This one is titled Job That Only Pays the Bills. I told my boyfriend on one spring day that I was quitting my job. This art director supervised maybe 8 people, designed 2 magazines. This was a big thing, me quitting my well-paying job that only paid the bills and didn't make me happy. And when the big day came, I opened the windows to my 32nd story corner office and asked my supervisor to come into my office. The wind whistled through the loop on these downtown streets. It was always breathtaking, this view, seeing skyscrapers in the spring. But my supervisor sat down at my desk, and before I could break the news, there was a knock on my door. And when I said, "Come in," the secretary walked in with a dozen roses in a vase as a delivery for me. I said, "Thank you." And then she closed the door, and I looked at my supervisor, but looking at the roses, he already knew the news. I didn't know I'd get roses. It was kind of just blew my chances to say I quit, but it was kind of cool to get roses on a spring day for putting in my 2-week notice. At the time, I couldn't think of a better reason to get roses, and it was like icing on the liberation cake. It was really a riot when that happened. You guys are laughing at that one, where I'm reading his stuff for springtime when doing the show at the Baha'i Faith Center. And like most places, they didn't want to be doing things for free to poets anymore, so you close that thing. This is before pandemic even came, which is heartbreaking and sad and such, but it was fun to be able to do the shows while I could. So I want to thank each and every one of you. There are 29 days to this month, so I believe that would mean that March the 5th would be the first Sunday of March, because I can actually figure that out from February to March. So I think when winter starts calming down for people, I would live to hear more and more of you. And I thank people that come in, even if they have to leave early, and people that show up late. Everyone is welcome. And I try to get in as many people as I can. And that is the wonderful thing about this place, that even if they are locals or because this is now global, thanks to you, John F. McMullen, that I can get people from different time zones coming in. It is always fascinating and beautiful and wonderful to hear such a diverse group of people. And so that is just my thank you that I wanted to give to you guys, because you guys are triple plus awesome. And I think, I'm looking at the clock, we have a few seconds left if you kiddies want to talk. If there's anything that you guys have to report on, I don't have anything. I'm going to a tennis tournament next week in Dallas, but that doesn't relate to poetry. So if there's anything anybody else would like to report on, please, now is your time. Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Come on.
I get the one that wants to eat, so I'm going to have to go pretty soon.
Well, it's approaching that time anyway, so I just want to see if anybody had anything else to say. So
I'm leaving because it's 11:30 at night here.
It's late for you guys, yes. So thank you for coming. Thank you for coming late, Susan. I'm glad I was able to see you. Thank you for hosting this, John. You guys are all double plus awesome. You're the best.
Thanks, sir.
And I'll see you in 1 month, definitely.